December 1982, the air at NBC was thick with desperation as viewers were abandoning the network in droves. The quarterly report was only just days away, and program chief, Brandon Tartikoff, slammed a single sheet of paper onto his desk. I need a new action series and it needs to be on the air in 6 weeks. That sounds impossible, right? Especially when you consider that a mere 12 days later, two writers would walk out of a bungalow in the Universal lot, clutching a pilot script that was destined to become the most bullet-riddled, explosion-packed, yet surprisingly family-friendly juggernaut of the entire decade. It seems like something out of a Hollywood myth, but trust us, it's not. Stick around, because it's exactly how the A-Team was born in less than 2 weeks, defying every expectation and the industry standard. NBC's Brandon Tartikoff was legendary for his last-minute Hail Mary play, as this, however, was extreme. Mid-season replacements typically took 6 months to develop and produce. He only had 6 weeks to air. The network's ratings had plummeted so low, only one show, Hill Street Blues, was just inside the top 20. Affiliate stations were threatening to drop NBC program in favor of rerunning Dallas and other syndicated programming. Can you imagine the panic? Tartikoff scribbled 3 ingredients onto a napkin: Dirty Dozen Crew, Road Warrior Stunts, Zero Blood. He wanted the gritty camaraderie and anti-hero vibe of the Dirty Dozen, mixed with the high-octane vehicular chaos of Mad Max 2, without any of the actual gore. He picked up a phone and called Stephen J. Cannell. Yes, that's Stephen J. Cannell, a writer and producer. Tartikoff barked, "Give me something people will tune into after Hill Street Blues." Cannell understood the urgency, immediately called writing partner Frank Lupo and told him the insane deadline. Both men laughed at first, was just too preposterous. Then the laughter died, and they realized Tartikoff wasn't kidding. This is a general 5-alarm network emergency, and they're only ones that could put out the fire. The clock started ticking. Their mission for the first day was clear: a compelling premise, 4 distinct lead roles, a solid plot outline, and have it all by sunset. They didn't reinvent the wheel, they just polished it. They stole the oldest trick in the book: make the heroes outlaws with hearts of gold. It's a formula that practically writes itself. Vietnam veterans dishonorably discharged for a crime they didn't commit, now on the run from the military but using their unique skills to help ordinary civilians in need. It was, in essence, Robin Hood with dog tags. The next couple days were a blur of intense collaboration, hammering out the character beats that would make the team unforgettable, including Murdoch, the pilot who could fly anything, who may or may not just be clinically insane, but whose unpredictable genius often saved the day. These distinct personalities, each bringing unique skills to the table, were designed to create instant chemistry and endless narrative possibilities. For the next 3 days, they banged out page after page of script. There was no time for rewrites, no luxury for second-guessing. The first draft would be the shooting draft. Cannell produced pages that often looked, as he joked, like ransom notes taped together. But the words began flowing, the action sequences took shape, and the iconic banter began to emerge. And on day 9, precisely at 4 p.m., they handed an 85-page pilot script to the network. Tartikoff, a man known for his work ethic, read it overnight. At dawn, Cannell's phone rang. "Green light," Tartikoff announced, his voice crackling with excitement. "But you begin filming in 3 weeks." Cannell hung up the phone, let out a massive exhale, turned to Lupo, and said, "Now, the real sprint begins." With literally zero prep time for a conventional casting process, casting director Gene Selby had to work miracles. She held open calls on a Saturday, a desperate gamble that paid off in spades. George Peppard, a seasoned actor fresh off of bankruptcy and a string of less-than-stellar TV movies, sauntered in. He had a cheap cigar and a confident grin and stated, "I hear you need a leader." Check. Hannibal was found. Mr. T, a former bouncer whose intimidating presence and unique look had caught NBC's eyes months earlier on a show called Games People Play, where he was seen tossing bouncers around like beanbags. He was practically dragged in. He arrived wearing signature cut-off fatigues and 20 pounds of gold chains. Check. There's B.A. Baracus. Dwight Schultz, a character actor known for his intensity, did Murdoch's entire screen test in a straitjacket, showcasing the perfect blend of madness and genius required for the eccentric pilot. Check. Murdoch was found. Only the role of Faceman proved tricky. Initially, Tim Dunnigan, a strapping 6'5" and undeniably babyface actor, shot the pilot his face. However, the test audiences weren't convinced, and their feedback was very blunt, stating he looked like a high school kid trying to buy beer with a fake ID. The sophisticated con-man vibe just was not there. So in an unprecedented move for a show already racing against the clock, Cannell made the difficult decision to reshoot the role. Dirk Benedict, already a fan favorite from Battlestar Galactica, was brought in. Days later, While construction crews were already building the motel set for the next episode, Benedict was filming his scenes as Face. Dunnigan, with incredible grace, still joked about it later, saying he got fired from the show that still hadn't aired. Oh yes, and let's not forget Amy Allen. Melinda Kalia joined the core team as a resourceful journalist, providing a critical liaison to the outside world. Her persistence and sharp mind, despite lacking military training, made her an invaluable asset to the four former soldiers. This dynamic with Allen often bringing the cases to the team further solidified the show's Heroes for Hire premise. The chemistry, along with this newly assembled cast, was palpable, quickly becoming the crucial element of the show's immediate and enduring appeal. Now that the cast was assembled, Cannell penciled out a production schedule that would make even the most seasoned accountants, producers, and studio executives weep openly. 8 days for prep, 7 days for photography, and 2 frantic days dedicated to second unit explosions and stunt work. It was a logistical nightmare, a high-wire act without a net. Oh yes, and that iconic black and red GMC van? It was not a custom build. It was a last-minute paint job on a rusty 1982 GMC that had been sitting forgotten in prop storage. They literally masked the rust with primer, slapped on those red stripes using electrical tape. The action sequences, a hallmark of the show, were often as real as they looked. The helicopter chase, real. The explosion that dramatically flips a Jeep, also real, and so powerful it shattered windows on a soundstage nearly a quarter-mile away. The commitment to practical effects, even under such immense pressure, gave the show its distinct, visceral edge. NBC executives screened a rough cut at dawn. The story goes they gave it a standing ovation, immediately ordering 13 more episodes. The gamble paid off. The pilot perfectly set the tone with its blend of action, humor, absurdity. The math simply didn't add up. 12 days of writing, 3 weeks of filming, a mid-season slot that normally spelled doom. Yet the A-Team debuted to a staggering 21 million viewers after the Super Bowl that year. The formula, brilliant in its simplicity and repetition. Problem, plan, montage, battle, explosions, and then a classic one-liner. This predictable yet satisfying structure became comfort viewing during a recession-plagued era, offering a sense of certainty and justice in uncertain times. Don't forget the show's theme music, composed by the iconic Mike Post. Instantly recognizable, synonymous with action and adventure. The distinctive black, red, and gray GMC van wasn't just a vehicle, it in itself became a pop culture symbol, leading to a massive merchandising boom with action figures, toy figures, video games, and tribute cars still being modded and painted to this day. The A-Team was born out of chaos and necessity, but it became TV comfort food for a generation. So tell me, if you had to build a hit show in just 12 days without the modern benefits of AI, what would your formula be? Drop it in the comments below. And don't get hit with those pesky late fees. Subscribe so you don't miss the next release. And remember, be kind, rewind.